these runners have suffered enough. I think this should be relatively straightforward.
And it looks like we're underway. There's half magic in the opening chest. Hey, I'm certainly not going to be disappointed with that.
Nobody is angry to see half magic. Like, ever.
Indeed. So, both runners, of course, making their way towards the Uncle's Tunnel. This is one of the standard opening routes. It's not the only one I've seen people do, but it is a standard route.
Now, there's about, like, 2 or 3 different very popular routes with a few, like, variations on them. This is the one I think I see the most and the one I personally use, like, all the time.
All right. Yeah, I actually tend to use something else, mainly because I really like to combine this Uncle's Tunnel with the escape. So, and a lot of times people don't do that when you do this first route.
Yeah. If you're lucky, though, you get a weapon and you can actually just go downstairs, which is one of the better feelings.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So now both runners heading to the northwest section of Hyrule. We get a map check. I saw it looked like crystals everywhere.
One of them was
desert was the pendant, if anything.
Yeah, blue pendant at desert.
We had one of the important crystals at Eastern, and Crystal 1 was up at Hera, and then the corner of my eye saw something blue in desert and thought it was a crystal.
So notably, Wulfy is skipping out on the lumberjack check, whereas Cransoon is going for it. So we'll see if it's an Aga required seed, and if Cransoon gets a bit of an advantage from that knowledge. Which
doesn't look like it. Looks like a big 20 to me.
A lot of runners like to put off the lumberjack check, at least until they have boots, because, you know, the logic will never require you to go there without boots. And it's also slower to just walk there. Personally, I like to get it out of the way.
Yeah, the knowledge in some cases will trump the speed there.
I definitely agree with that. But we have 3 bombs from the Uncle route, which is one of the reasons why I like to do it. It's a higher chance of getting bombs. So we don't have to spend extra time running errands.
Oh, speaking of the boots. There we go.
And the blue mail.
Boots, blue mail, bomb, bees all over the place. Wonder if we'll just pick up a bee. How about a boomerang? That works.
I'll take the boots. But yeah, if you don't have bombs early on, you can spend a lot of time running around Kakariko trying to get more.
Yeah, you may end up having to go down to the south end and buy some. Alright, big 20. I mean, at this point, we'll come up with there's the magic powder, my favorite thing in the world, and the fire rod.
Yep, we've got a stacked Kakariko.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of these days we'll come up with a name that starts with B for every single item in the game, so we can just alliterate our way all the way through. And there is the hammer!
So that's interesting. That opens up another spot in Kakariko right off the bat. A spot that...
I see what you did there.
I wasn't even trying.
It's the magic bat situation. And I actually would not be surprised if one of our runners, immediately thinks of that and is like, oh, I should go do that right now.
I would be surprised if both of these runners don't do that. Or I would be surprised if either of these runners don't do that, I should say.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't do that, because I'd forget.
I think chances of Magic Bat having something are pretty high right now. We have some items, but progression-wise, all we have unlocked is like the Bonk Rocks.
Yep, and we do see Wolfie going for it. This is another reason that the Uncle's Tunnel route is pretty good, is because there's those magic pots, and if they hadn't got half magic, they'd need that to be able to do this. Oh my god, the hook shot!
Oh my. So...
Boing, boing, boing. From the magic bat.
That doesn't unlock anything yet either, which is interesting. I'm wondering if we'll be seeing an Aghanim required seed.
That would be an interesting thing to happen after all of this high-end progression.
Basically, there's either a flute or a lamp and a glove between that hook shot being useful. If we find the stuff that gets us to Aghanim, that hook shot can get us across the pond.
Wolfie almost saves and quits, but then realizes he needs to pick up that bottle. Oh, so I learned this in the last race. The wall between the brothers' hut is bonkable.
Yeah, it's a good way to save a bomb early on if you have the boots.
I don't know if it's faster or not.
And with the bottle in hand, we're going to be spending even more time in Kakariko.
Yeah, I would expect them to turn right around and go to the sick kid while they're thinking about it.
You know, that's the first time I think I've ever seen that guy. You can say you can have this trash and probably mean it because, like, it's just a bottle somebody left lying around.
Yeah, pretty much. Ah, just a big 20. No, nothing real big there, but at least you get that off your mind.
So Wolfie is immediately going up to pretty much the only non-Sphere Zero spot available outside of that magic bat. Oh my.
Oh, the flute is right there in the Bonk Rocks.
So that opens up the East Death Mountain.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's where we're going to be seeing these guys go, like, right now.
I think I'm going to do this here. It's time for everybody's favorite national swag duck anthem. It's the tiebreaker race for a round of 8 space. So just stay in your place or watch the VOD. And as we do begin, either runner could win if they're not trolled again by the ice rod.
Yeah, hopefully we don't even need the ice rod. I don't want to see Turtle Rock at all this seed.
And there we go. So that gets that out of the way, and now we can focus on the race.
I am surprised Wolfie doing the dam and probably South Shore instead of going directly to Death Mountain.
Yeah, that is a little surprising. It's also surprising that he didn't hit the hookshot trick.
Mm-hmm. And notably, Cransoon didn't check Bonk Rocks, which I don't think that's a bad thing. But if that flute ends up being the key here, Cransoon might spend more time in like Eastern Palace, where all the value might be in that East Death Mountain.
Oh yeah, that's just a whole nother layer of additional routing that you don't even think about because you don't usually get, the boots that early and then route yourself back up to do Sick Kid, and you're like, oh, I could just go Bonk Rocks real fast.
Mm-hmm. And here's another place where Wolfie can save a little time with that flute. Cransoon has to run over here to Ice Rod Cave, whereas Wolfie could just flute there whenever he wants.
Yeah. I think that if if Cransoon finds the power glove, he might like try to sequence break up to Death Mountain.
Yep, we get our second bottle here. This one
that-
actually having something in it.
And that would make it that would make him go buy the Bonk Rocks.
I think that's where Cransoon's going right now.
Well, he doesn't have the thing, but he'll probably go to Bonk Rocks because he's here at Sank. And yeah, that flute will be in Cransoon's possession momentarily.
Yep, so really, I don't think anyone has a strict advantage right now.
I just found out in the I was messing with the customizer for the game where you can put the items where you want. And there's an option to put a flute that's already activated.
In Randomizers, that's like the first thing I do when I get the flute is actually try using it, because sometimes they do that. Wulfy opting to do the dark room here without a sword.
Yeah, that is a little bit unnerving. You can sort of feel your way along the wall. It's this is one of the rooms with a lot of sort of safety locations.
Yeah, and using the boomerang there as a guide.
Yep. I have heard of some people using the flute to navigate the dark room.
Oh, because it like tells you whether or not you're on the left side or right side of the screen.
Uh-huh. And it looked like Cransoon actually accidentally fell off the ladder at the very top.
I think I saw that yesterday in a race too, which was weird. I forget who did it though.
Alright, so now Cransoon heading over to the east side of Death Mountain, and Wulfy will be following straight behind. At this point, both runners have checked roughly the same places, minus the old man cave, which Wulfy got the bug net from.
Yeah. But it's starting to look like East Death Mountain is definitely going to have something of value, unless this is like the most debating seed of all time.
Mm-hmm. There's a sword.
That is good, but
Now
honestly,
all they gotta do is pick up another one, and then they can get debated to Aga Tower.
yeah, that's the thing. Or the cape.
Well, and also the lamp.
Yeah, that too. Unless they are insane.
I mean, you can do the dark rooms in there, and I've seen it done before, but there's no real reason to.
Mm-hmm. Hera's also in play too.
Yep.
With the hammer
Hera is a thing.
and the fire rod, just in case.
Yep. Fire rod will make that 100% clearable. And the sword they just picked up. Well, they had the hammer anyway, so they can kill Moldorm with the hammer. And I would definitely use hammer strats over fighter sword strats.
Yeah, despite being the vanilla solution for Moldorm, the fighter sword is probably the worst weapon that you can use on it.
Yeah. You gotta I think you gotta hit him 6 times with a slash or a spin.
Right.
And if you poke him, it's even worse.
Now, fighter sword always does
Oh,
one
so
damage.
it's the same amount of damage? Okay.
Master sword, you have to do spins to do tempered sword damage. So it makes it 3 hits instead of 6, and it also skips the like enraged phase.
Yeah. So there's the big key here in Tower of Hera, so they can head upstairs without having to go to the torch chest.
Yeah, but that fire rod is pretty suspect, I want to say. I think we might be seeing it.
Yep. You never know. Very well could be a thing.
And at this stage in the game, I think neither of these runners want to take gambles like that.
There's the Moon Pearl, just one chest south of its vanilla location.
Yeah, Ganon got really lazy when placing that one. He's just like, well,
Like, eh.
I'm just gonna toss it down the hall here.
Is the map generally in that chest below it? Because he just switched them.
I have no idea, honestly. I think
Yeah,
so.
neither do I.
There's probably the compass, actually.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
It's been like 10 years since I played this game, vanilla.
And there's the small key.
Yep, does that mean we're seeing the basement?
I don't know. I can't remember what was in the very first room.
I think it was the compass.
All right then. Yep, that's it. So Cransoon will be heading to the Hera tile room, where coffee break strats can be applied.
Speaking of coffee. I don't think any runner would skip Hera Basement at this point. Just because
No.
all the items are pointing here. Like, it could be nothing, but you don't want to take that risk.
I'm thinking book.
Book would be interesting because,
So then they have to go to desert.
yeah, open up desert. We would have
At
a
least till we get him to
reverse-
check Agnes Cave.
Yeah, that's good.
How about Power Glove?
Yep, that's a pretty bad item.
But Power Glove and Moon Pearl, that's a pretty solid Hera.
Well, that opens up Dark World proper.
Sure does.
I'm
And
wondering if these guys are going to run there immediately, or if they're going to try and check the back of Escape first.
who knows? Reasonably certain that actually takes care of Aghanim's Tower being a thing.
Yep, we will not be seeing Aghanim. Both of these runners not forgetting about Spiral Cave, thankfully.
Yeah.
It's
I was, to be honest, I was sitting here thinking, why aren't they just saving, quitting out? And then Cransoon started walking east.
yeah.
I was like, oh, Spiral Cave.
It's pretty easy to forget about this place when you are like doing that Hera Hera Gambit first. But it's nothing
And
but a
we see-
big 20. Cransoon almost forgetting. He does not have mitts. So we got a Hype Cave check, and we also have a Village of Outcasts or maybe Skull Woods check. Alright, so Swamp Palace was green pendant, Palace of Darkness was red pendant, and then Ice Palace is Crystal 6.
Ah, I see.
Cransoon honestly might just clear Skull Woods right now.
Yeah, it's very possible. He's got blue mail, and he's got fire rod, so he can get back there. Mothula scares the snot out of me.
Not so much with half magic. Wolfie also finds the book inside Hype Cave.
I'm just saying he scares the snot out of me. He doesn't scare the snot out of these runners.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mothula is one of the most volatile bosses in this game, if not the most.
So, big key found by Cransoon. He's gonna get himself a little bomb jump here.
Not even opting to do the bonk strats.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Also, I'm told that if you do the bonk strats from where he was standing, you'll go through the door.
Yeah. That's happened to me quite a few times.
I was gonna say, and by I'm told, I mean I've done that. It's awful. Alright, so we find bombs at the digging game.
Are you sure we weren't just playing a game of Minesweeper?
We might have been. But the problem is he found the bomb, so I think he loses.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna pay the 80 rupees to try again, though.
Yeah. That's not required for this run.
So Wolfie's probably making the same play as Cransoon, and that is to just clear out Skull Woods. You can do it. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yep, the Skullwoods play, just clearing it out. You're here, why not?
You know, one thing that's always confused me about this game is the devs were very particular in putting items in like pots when you needed them. Like if you look at Turtle Rock, there's that magic refill right before Trinex. But with like the fire rod, like that's I guess the intended way to kill Mothula, right? Why isn't there a full magic pot right before Mothula?
Well, there's like 3 small ones.
Yeah, but that's weird. And that's exactly what Cransoon is doing. Instead of using the fighter sword, fire rod does double damage from fighter sword on Mothula. Also has it seems like it has less of a chance to cancel out the damage by hitting spikes.
Yep, and
It's
there
not.
you go. Yeah, I believe it takes 8 connected hits with the fire rod to take down Mothula. And it would take 16 hits with the fighter sword.
But we'll probably be seeing, unless I miscounted. I guess I must have. We probably saw both of the items in Skull Woods.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I mean, I think this was one of them. Yeah, there it was.
Yeah, a lot of runners will often, if they don't have the mirror, just go directly to Mothula instead of checking that one chest, which I think vanilla contains a small key.
Right.
In that back half, or not even half, of Skull Woods.
Alright, so Cransoon gonna go check Bumper Cave. Let's see what we got there.
Just a Pizza Hut.
Not particularly interested in that.
Yep. Not that he could get it, even if he wanted it.
Very true. So now Cransoon is going to head down into the village proper.
Yeah.
We'll be
seeing
finding the sea
Thieves
house.
Town.
Got a 5-arrow upgrade, so again, not a whole lot going for us yet. Gonna open Thieves Town and go right in without checking the rest of Village of Outcasts. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And there's that special cane that we all talk about.
That's gotta be Kane!
And Phantom Breeder sticking around for that surprise interview there. I want to know if you were aware that he has quite a treasure in that cane of Samaria.
I am aware.
He also found
goodness.
the silver arrows.
That'll be good for later. Unfortunately, we don't have a bow just yet. So going into Thieves Town early without checking the rest of the Village of Outcasts is perfectly fine if you have like the hammer and the boots, because that's basically all you need to make this as fast as it can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a sword, of course, but they have it. They have it.
All right, so Cransoon making his way through the aptly named Hellway on up to Grasshopper Alley.
Yeah. 2 hearts is a little scary. These guys do 2 hearts normally, and Cransoon is down to 1 now.
Yeah. It is blue mail, but now with 1 heart, blue mail, you will die to these grasshoppers.
Yeah, so Cransoon needs to be a bit careful, though I think he still has that fairy in a bottle. He also has
right.
powder for when he gets back downstairs.
Nice. He's also got that hook shot, which will take care of those grasshoppers in 1 hit, unlike the fighter's sword.
Yep. Funnily enough, in like Entrance Randomizer, if you get a Light World Thieves Town, those guys still look like, the lizard grasshopper things, but they are just rats. They have the same stats as rats.
Yep, it pays attention to what world you're in to determine what stats those enemies have.
And vice versa. If you have a Dark World, say, Escape, you'll get incredibly strong rats.
Yeah, you'll get majorly bodied.
They must have like the Black Plague or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think that works. You heard it here first, folks. Black Plague deals 2 hearts of damage.
Yep, unless you have penicillin, which you don't.
Unfortunately, most people in the Middle Ages only had 1 heart.
So we do not have any Time Lords in Hyrule.
Too soon. And Cransoon moving on to fight blind. At least he's not blind while fighting him. And a very nice first 2 phases. Oh, that was basically the textbook fight.
Yep. Probably be seeing something similar from Wulfy. I think both of these guys run the actual game, and Blind is known as one of the easiest bosses to learn, and one of the most consistent ones once you actually know it.
Somebody ought to point me in the direction of some resources on how to get good at Blind.
Just gotta, I don't know. I think Fruit Bat's tutorial was pretty good on YouTube. So, no real value inside Thieves Town, it looks like.
I mean, the cane was in there, the silver arrows were in there.
Sorry, in the backside of Thieves Town.
Okay. Oh, I'm told we have to get the sonic screwdriver. I think that's what the ice rod looks like.
So it's looking like Cransoon is just going to be retracing the steps Wulfy took, and we'll probably end up with a pipe cave check. Whether or not Cransoon opts to continue going towards either Catfish or Palace of Darkness is up for grabs.
Yeah. Either of those is possible. You don't like to go into pod without the bow, but it's not nearly as bad as it was in the previous version.
But another place that we can fully clear right now is Desert, since we do have that book, and Cransoon will be getting that book here in a minute.
Ah, yes. Now, Desert only a pendant, but it can be disproportionately good. So, if your rando ROM starts with the uncle walking out of the house, then you are in standard mode. There's two different major modes here. Standard mode starts the game like normal, and then open mode just starts you with either location you could go to. There are advantages and disadvantages to both, but with the standard mode, you're guaranteed to get a sword from your uncle, so you'll never have to do weird swordless stuff.
So Cransoon is opting to go directly to Desert, making that gamble. I don't really think it's much of a gamble, but it's not a crystal dungeon, so we'll be seeing what's inside Agina's cave here first.
Yep, seems entirely reasonable. Though I know some people will save this for last, that way they don't have to walk back out.
Also, Cransoon forgetting to use the flute, as Chad is pointing out.
Oh, Master Sword! Sitting there in Agina's cave, that's pretty big.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, if Wulfy decides to go directly into Desert, which he is, he might actually forget to check Agina's cave and still be stuck on Fighter Sword.
Yep. That's entirely possible. I do, like I said, some people like to save that for last. So you never know.
Yeah. Like, once you complete Desert, it's not a long time to, make your way over there. But if you find something big in Desert, you might just completely forget about it.
Alright, so there's the small key, which means the right-hand side will be accessible at the moment. They have the boots, so they're going to be able to get pretty much everywhere in the front side anyway, and the fire rod gives them access to land molas, so all of Desert is available.
Oh my. Is this going to be a trolley right-side Desert with the map in this next chest?
Is it? It's not. It's even trollier.
No, we needed that. How else are we going to be canon?
I'm sure. Sure, adding one to that one variable there is real important.
So that is our first item in Desert, meaning there's only one more thing in here. I don't remember what was on the Desert ledge, but I don't think it was important.
It was a bomb upgrade.
Okay.
Not important unless you're going to have to throw a bunch of bombs at Vitreous.
Yeah, which, it's still in the cards.
Hey, there's the lamp in the big chest here in Desert Palace.
That doesn't actually do anything for us, though.
It lets us see the action.
Yeah, that's true. It does stuff for us as viewers. But these guys can do dark rooms, I'm sure of it. I wonder if Wulfy's going to even bother clearing Desert. Looks like we're just going to be getting our Master Sword.
Wulfy is going to Agina's cave. He's not going to bother heading elsewhere in Desert. There's no reason to. It's just a pendant. Unless, of course, the pendant ends up being required.
Yep, we still have not checked the pedestal. And it's early enough in the seed that, I don't know. Let's do some calculations here to calculate pedestal height index.
Oh, well,
We got medallions,
yeah, medallions for Misery Mire and Turtle Rock could be there.
and ice rod, and that's it? Question mark?
You can't have the bow there because Palace of Darkness is a pendant. You can't have the mirror or the flippers there because Swamp Palace is a pendant.
You know what would be the trolliest thing possible? If one of the medallions required is inside Swamp Palace, and these guys go mode Ice Palace, or just never find the flippers and go mode Ice Palace,
Oh boy.
or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible to access Ice Palace with a logic break by fake flippering to its to the central island of Lake Hylia.
Mm-hmm.
But the logic will never require you to do that. It will expect you to have the flippers before you're required to go into Ice Palace.
Right. So I think, is this the first escape check we're seeing? Like front of escape?
Looks like it.
I think so. Cransoon opting to do the old man on the mountain. Wolfie did that before when it was still sequence break. So Cransoon now is complete with his bug net. Also opting to go directly into Palace of Darkness without a bow in hand. In this version,
A couple spin attacks here on the guard, and we find the red mail in the dungeon chest.
Yeah. So in this version, Palace of Darkness value without the bow is a bit bigger. In fact, it can be too big and cause a rematch, basically, because if the bow is inside that dark maze, which it can be,
Right.
that is broken logic and will need to be fixed in the next version.
I see. Yeah, I believe that caused one of our races to be completely thrown out in this tournament.
Yep. So Palace of Darkness is not completely bow locked. We can get inside of it. At least past that first chest.
Right. So I guess to avoid the bow lock, you just make sure to go to the dark maze as soon as it's possible. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure on what like the most efficient routing is in Palace of Darkness when you don't have the bow. Typically, I like to clear as much of it as I can, like including the vanilla big key chest. We do see the big key. Oh, there it is. We get our bow in the basement of Palace of Darkness.
All right, so the bow is in pod. What are you going to do about that?
Well, Wolfie's going to be picking that up soon enough.
Now, the bow is not in the dark maze. It was in the dark. Basement with the rupees and junk.
So that gives Cransoon a bit of an advantage, but Wolfie's heading into Palace of Darkness right now, so he's hot on his tail.
Cransoon picks up a piece of heart that filled up his life. I'm not sure he wanted that.
Yeah, he was looking like he was setting up a death warp along the way.
And there are a few chests that are accessible that he has not checked.
Well, that's interesting. Cransoon is opting to save and quit out of Palace of Darkness. I don't know if Cransoon is.
He's just
planning
going
on
back in.
Back? Okay.
Or maybe he's going to Eastern.
You know, that is true. Eastern is, as of yet, untouched. It is also one of our crystals 5 and 6, which will open up the Pyramid Fairy once we finish out Ice Palace. So this is a pretty risky play by Cransoon. I don't know how many items were left in Palace of Darkness.
Let's see. There were a few. I think the real deal is he just didn't want to walk back out. You know, without the mirror, it's a long way back.
We'll see what Wolfie does after this. He'll be getting his bow in short order.
Yeah, he's actually heading back through. He's not even going to the Dark Maze yet. Cransoon finds the Tempered Sword in Eastern Palace.
Okay, it looks like there were actually 4 items in Palace of Darkness, so that is all the items.
No, there's 5 items in Pod.
Oh, right. My mind is not right
Wolfie
today.
did the
apparently.
hammer jump there. Might be trying to get through here without using the key. I doubt that, though.
Well,
It makes it faster to get back out without the mirror.
and also, considering Wolfie does not have... I think Wolfie's actually going to be clearing Palace of Darkness.
Oh, yeah.
So Wolfie, if he wanted to leave, if he came back in, I think he had a key, whereas Cransoon didn't. And Cransoon would have had to spend more time returning and finding a key, although there's probably one on the Bowlock side.
Well, Wolfie's probably going to head to the Bowlock side. We'll find one more item. If it turns out to be on Helmasaur, that's going to be a pain.
Yeah, this could be pretty big for Wolfie if there is one more required item inside Palace of Darkness. Honestly, I think it was pretty bold by Cransoon to leave with an item left.
Yeah, I mean, it's only one item, so the odds aren't bad, but you want to be careful.
But without our mitts, there's so many places that are blocked off.
If this turns out to be the Titan's Mitts, this is going to be huge.
I haven't been...
And there it is! The
Oh
Titan's
my.
Mitts on the Bowlock side of Pod.
So that is absolutely massive for Wolfie. The consolation for Cransoon is that mitts block so many things. We'll be back here sooner than if it were something like, say,
Yeah, I actually feel
Ice
like
Rod.
Cransoon is going to go right back to Pod after this. It seems likely. Now, Wolfie, on the other hand, I believe we calculated that all the items have been acquired at this point. So
Right.
There's nothing on Helmasaur.
I think Wolfie's just doing it for the pendant.
Figures if he's going to get trolled by Bo and Mitts in Pod, he could probably get trolled by Pedestal.
Where can Cransoon go other than Palace of Darkness? Unless... Yeah, nothing good in Sasrala's hut.
You can go to Catfish, Pyramid.
Oh, that is true, and that is more value than going back into Palace of Darkness at this point. There's also Zora. Nobody's checked.
Yeah. Zora area and I guess, like, I have no idea where he's going right now.
Yeah, and Cransoon is in the exact wrong place.
Oh, he's
If you
checking
wanted-
pedestal.
That is a good idea, honestly. With the crystals, or the pendants and crystals we have right now, I think pedestal hype could be real. But it's not.
Oh, arrow upgrade.
It's dead. Sorry, chat.
Pile
I didn't-
of garbage.
I didn't make the seed. So yeah, Cransoon is going to be checking, I believe, the front of Escape.
Yep.
Nothing.
Oh, Cransoon. Gotta get back into pod.
What is Wulfy doing? Did Wulfy miscount?
Perhaps he left the big key chest? Yeah. Oh, he actually hadn't done any of this drop down, so he may not
But-
have actually seen one of the items. I don't know for sure.
All right. So, chat said we had 2 heart pieces, which I saw. We have the mitts, we have the bow.
Bow.
That's 4 items, and then we have a red rupee somewhere.
Yes, but if the red rupee was in this big key chest, then we know what Wulfy's doing.
Okay. I did not see Cransoon check this chest.
Oh, it's bombs.
So chat lied, actually. It wasn't a red rupee. It was something even better.
Yeah, I would argue big bombs greater than red rupee.
All right, so Wulfy's probably going to be clearing out Eastern Palace here as well. Not entirely sure. Oh, probably checking Sahasrara first.
Right. And he, if you go into Eastern, I mean, why wouldn't you clear Eastern? It's a crystal. You want to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Wulfy's doing right now. He hasn't been inside Eastern at all.
That being said, so he's going to pick up the Tempered Sword in there. Also, there's one other nice thing you can do, and that is go to things like Mire or Ice Palace.
Yeah, I personally would have probably checked Mire first just to see, what crystal I
Right.
needed. I think checking Eastern isn't a bad thing, especially getting it out of the way. And if medallions are in here or other progression is in here, that's even better. It is also one of crystals 5 and 6, and
Yeah.
Wulfy can technically get into Ice Palace.
So this is why I have this thing in the back of my head for Ice Palace, because it's the other 5/6 crystal. So you could make that happen.
Cransoon finding nothing on the pyramid. We'll probably be going directly to Catfish next.
Ugh.
Oh,
What?
Nope.
Nope.
Is this the play?
Is he going back into pod? It looks like it.
All right. So
Cransoon,
Cransoon.
not a fan of catfish. Let's put it that way.
I don't see why. Just go to Catfish. It's right there. But whatever.
There's no such thing as catfish being right there. Catfish is way out of the way, and it's always out of the way.
It's the closest
And-
you're gonna get, though.
Well, also, here's the other thing. He doesn't have the mirror, right?
Yeah.
And so, he also hasn't done Zora. So, if he's going to do catfish, he'd like to combine it with Zora.
I don't know. I think this is. I mean, this is obviously the right play for Cransoon to make, but I don't know. I just hate it when people skip out on Catfish.
Yeah, I do tend to enjoy seeds where an item is in a very out of the way overworld location. Just because it means somebody's gonna skip it, and so we're gonna have some real actual drama. And we see Cransoon making the play on the right side of Pod. He's going to walk onto the ledge and... Oh, he's preparing his frustration. Oh, never mind. I thought he was just going to hammer the chest to death.
Nah, that wastes a bit of time.
No, he was preparing to actually use the hammer to jump down to Helmasaur. But he doesn't need to.
That is good. That actually gives Cransoon back the lead, I think.
Potentially. Yeah, Wolfie wasted a lot of extra time clearing out Pod because he had to go back for that big key chest. Cransoon actually not skipping items in Pod. He knew only one was left there now.
We're seeing Dark Death Mountain immediately by Cransoon, which is not a bad play.
Yep. Titan's Mints unlocks quite a few different locations, all of which have a decent amount of items, and so it can be very lucrative to go to any of them.
If we find medallions up here too, we might even see an early Turtle Rock.
Ooh, speaking of medallions.
Yeah. We still don't know which medallions we need.
Yep, so we've got Ether. Gonna see where Cransoon goes next. Did we see what was on the floating island? It's Ether.
Well, we will probably see Cransoon dip into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, without the ice rod, you don't want to have to double dip it, but sometimes you have to.
Wolfie making the opposite play, going into Mire area, and we'll see just what we need for Mire, as well as a few more items.
It's also Ether, so Wolfie's going to have to head up to Dark Death Mountain before he can go in there.
Huh. So we're, what, 2 items away from Gun Mode? Or 1 item away. Just that Ice Rod.
Yeah, that ice rod will do it. Technically, the game would want you to have the flippers.
Yeah, but who needs those?
Flippers are overrated. And we see Cransoon checking the Spike Cave.
Not a bad play. Wolfie is hot on Cransoon's tail, also checking Dark Death Mountain here. Cransoon!
Oh yeah, he's got a fairy.
Has a fairy. Looks like Wolfie's gonna take the... I don't know what to call this route. By going directly to Turtle Rock and opening it, or at least opening the portal, and using that to get Dark Death Mountain access instead of using the one at the base of the mountain.
I call it the end game route because when you're going to Ganon, it's a little faster.
So yeah, Cransoon just needs that ice rod. Also,
oh, he's gonna go check Ether Tablet.
I think that's a good idea. That is a location that can troll you endlessly, especially if you don't have the mirror, and it is the mirror.
Yeah. Now, worst case scenario for these guys is Ice Rod in Swamp.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ice Rod in Swamp is actual worst case scenario because they have to go get the mirror and the flippers.
But Cransoon can enter Mire, and will probably do so.
Yeah, that seems likely. He can
Now-
both enter and complete Misery Mire.
Now I'm wondering if Wolfie is going to make the Ice Rod in Turtle Rock play, or not. Cransoon opted to not do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I were running this, I'd probably do Mire first, then I might do Ice. And then I might go to Turtle Rock.
I don't know about that. We don't have the flippers yet, so it's very possible flippers could be our go mode item, quote unquote go mode item. I would just count out flippers until we know that they're required, aka we've checked everything but Swamp Palace.
Yeah, but I mean, that includes Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to Turtle Rock.
It's not as slow as people think, honestly.
Alright, so Cransoon. Regardless, I would probably go do Mire first. Just because Mire is beatable. He finds the big key in the bridge chest. Which, if you're a hoversman, then that's the great place to find it for go mode. Even if you're not a hoversman.
Hoversman.
Yeah, that's the technical term. Correct.
So Wulfy is opting to do the same thing Cransoon did and just check Spike Cave. So unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing that Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod unless, you know, Ice Rod is in Turtle Rock. Which I still
looks
think
like
it is.
Alright, so Cransoon opting to skip the cutscene chest for now.
I think it's a good play if you can clear Mire. Like, just go to Vitreous and hope that
Only
it has
for a
second
short
minnow.
time. He's not going all the way to the right just yet.
Alright. Did he get the big key? I wasn't.
He did. It was the very first chest he checked.
In that case, I would have probably just go moded Mire and then went back in, assuming Vitreous didn't have the Ice Rod.
That's an interesting way of doing things.
And Wulfy might actually do that right now.
He did find the first item. That was a fire shield.
Yep, that was in the spike chest, right?
Correct. Which at the moment is outside the logic.
That is true. We don't have access to Laser Bridge, now that I think about it. By logic, you know. That pesky thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that often holds a lot of value in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, there are no more items in Desert. There's only two, and they got them both. Single arrow and lamp.
Wulfy is making the play, going directly to Vitreous. We'll see if Cransoon... I guess Cransoon already checked everything, huh?
Yeah.
So I guess Vitreous has the item.
Feels like Vidi.
So honestly...
Wulfy made up quite a bit of time here by not checking the rest of the dungeon.
Yep, this is why a lot of players like to do that route, because if Vitreous has the item, which is very possible, you know, this happens. Cransoon goes through the cutscene room, the rest of Mire, and comes out behind. And Vitreous is going to be a breeze with those silver arrows.
Oh yeah. There are a few boss fights that are, more satisfying to do than Silver Arrow Vitreous.
Wulfy also gets another minor advantage in the fact that he didn't have to hit that switch in that one dark room.
Very
whereas
true.
Cransoon did. Another benefit of just go moding Vitreous if you get the early big key. I honestly think Cransoon just thought he was behind and was just assuming the worst.
The mirror found on Vitreous. You don't want to see that. That's one more step towards Swamp Palace.
Yeah, it also opens up 3 overworld spots, I believe, that
Indeed.
are nowhere near each other. So,
Well, at least one of them's like right near you right now.
yeah, that's true. That's what Wolfie's doing right now, going to check that checkerboard cave.
Yep, you also got the Haunted Grove ledge and the glorious Graveyard ledge. And the flippers in the checkerboard cave. Oh no!
Oh my. Is this the debated moment? Do we see this? Is this happening?
Oh no!
Oh, Wolfie doing ice.
Yeah, I mean, now that the logic says do ice, do
Yeah.
ice.
But there's that swamp. Triple the items.
No, it's only double the items.
Oh, right.
There's 3 items in ice and 6 items in swamp.
But it is
Now-
green palette or pendant.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it'd be 7. But
So if you
I'm going
round
off
it up,
of
a ceiling function.
I'm going off of logic. I'm going off of information I'm getting from one of the top runners in this race. I'm told Swamp Palace is garbage.
I don't know about that. But yeah, nobody wants to go in the swamp if you don't have to.
It's mainly because it has so many more items required to get into it, and they are unique as opposed to the other places. It is more unlikely that V27 places those progression items in swamp than ice.
You know what would be the biggest possible troll? Is if our ice
See what
rod
you did there, Shift 4?
is in the graveyard ledge,
Oh boy.
and this flipper was just a complete troll. Like, at that point, you could just call it a regression item, because it just made them waste so much time for nothing. Wolfie missing out on a key here.
You forgot to kill the berry with the key. So that's going to give Cransoon a little bit of a chance to catch up.
Yeah, but it looks like we got a first try bomb jump. I don't think
Oh, yeah.
Cransoon's gonna have any trouble with it, but still.
The Ice Palace bomb jump is, it's one of those tricks that saves a lot of time.
Yeah, looks like Cransoon is having
That looked
good luck.
Yeah, that looked right to me.
Wolfie opting to just fall down here in this trap room instead of going down the stairs and the left-hand side.
Yeah, this'll head him, or this'll take him over to the right-hand side where you've got the hammer block chests. And there's the Bombos medallion found in the Freezor room. That we might see that used later on, but I doubt it.
Yeah, not with Tempered Sword.
Yeah. Well, also with half magic, you cold stare, you don't bombos that.
Getting gifted with a compass here in the right side of Ice Palace. We'll see what's in this chest. Just a big key. So it's a bit annoying here, And where I think Cransoon's routing will give him a bit of time is that Wulfy now has to go. Ooh, Quake Medallion
And
too.
we've got Quack as well. So
this
that's
is the Medallion
2 out of 3?
Palace. Mm-hmm.
2 out of 3, I'm told. And in the dungeon items.
So Wulfy's gonna have to make this bomb jump as well. I guess there's really no time benefit or loss here, because Cransoon did the bomb jump first, but will fall down the pit here, or maybe not. Maybe Cransoon's gambling on that chest.
Well, you can always walk around to it. And there's the Cane of Brian, so that's the 3rd item. So we will not be seeing the iced tea room.
Cransoon didn't have the small key for it.
It's the Cane of Brian.
Which Brian is that?
Well, somebody was asking for a Michael Caine.
Oh, okay.
So I did that one.
It's a pretty good Michael Caine.
Just the small key on Cold Stare. So Wulfy gonna finish off Cold Stare a little before Cransoon. Not much faster. Just a few seconds apart.
Yeah.
And
Cransoon made up a bit of time.
Now I'm not gonna lie, that Swamp Palace play now looks pretty good.
You gotta do it, right? Like,
Yeah.
unless
I mean, you hate to do it, but you gotta do it.
Where's Wolf? Oh, Wulfy is checking pedestal, I think.
Maybe?
Oh, Graveyard
Going
Ledge.
Dark World. Graveyard Ledge, yeah, that's a possibility. And Cransoon
is making the swamp play.
He might be making the Fat Fairy play.
Yep, that is also available. We also have Bombo's Tablet, which neither of these runners have checked.
Oh yeah.
Wulfy never checked this location, which is nothing. Oh! Wulfy never checked this location.
Yeah, that's gonna cost him a little bit of time. And this is why we talked about getting that information early on.
Mm-hmm. But I think Wulfy will also be able to check, that Graveyard Ledge, and if Ice Rod is there, that's it, basically.
Indeed. I also don't know if we've seen like the whole blacksmith purple chest peg cave play.
Nope. You know what else we haven't seen? Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock. Oh god. The Ice Rod, there it is! It's in the Fat Fairy Cave.
Okay. So yeah, that's it. That's Cransoon's go mode.
And Cransoon gets go mode. And we're off to the races. Turtle Rock, final destination. Fox only, no items.
And that's kind of sad for Wulfy, just because Ice Rod has trolled him twice now. I mean, it's trolled both of them in this race, but still.
Yeah, you can blame the Swag Duck for that one.
Okay, Wulfy's in the right area. The only problem is there's that 7 items inside Swamp Palace. Which do you go for?
Yep. So We'll see if he goes for the big bomb first, or if he goes to swamp.
Ooh.
Oh, he's going to swamp.
I think he's
Or he
checking...
might go Bombo's tablet.
I was checking Cave 45, aka the haunted ledge.
Somebody needs to explain the number to me at some point.
I think it's just a byte value
Okay.
in the game for it. Well, if he picks up the last bottle, only problem is I don't know, Cransoon is just beasting through Total Rock now.
Mm-hmm. And this is Cransoon's race to lose. Just gotta avoid any major mistakes, and he will take this home.
Get arrows from the gods. Those better be the best arrows I've ever seen to be worth all the time spent checking him.
He's switched to the mirror, which means the swamp play is likely.
Yeah, this is
unfortunate for Wulfy, as it's just going to add more time.
Now, I wonder if Wulfy just forgot that the Pyramid Fairy was accessible, or if he's just assuming, that it's not there, or gambling that it's not there.
Yeah, well, when you think about the sheer number of items, it's, as you were saying, triple the number of items, or in this case, 3.5 times, that you can pick up from Swamp. But still, ice. There was that thing in the back of my head earlier when I said you might try Pyramid Fairy, but you were like, no, you didn't have the flippers, so it really can't be a thing. But you do have the flippers now. So he might have had that piece of logic in his head, and it just didn't click when you got the flippers.
Yeah. It's a little sad.
Yeah. And I will say, I don't think any move here that Cransoon did, other than skipping the right side of Pod for a while, which didn't help, could really be considered a gamble.
Right.
I mean, Cave would send him to Spike Cave if he hadn't already been there.
So Cransoon is opting to not skip the big chest here in Turtle Rock, so we're not going to be seeing any having to backtrack.
Yep, and it's got that small key. That's important.
I think that's all the small keys we need.
Yep. All the small keys.
By Link 182. Is that
correct?
It? Yep, not even bothering to check this chest. In complete and utter go mode through Turtle Rock.
Alright, so Cransoon making his way through that dark room. It's one of the people look at this room and think, how in the world would you do it in the dark? And it's actually probably one of the easier dark rooms.
Yeah, it's pretty much the easiest one. I don't know of any that I think are easier. Except
maybe
for
like
maybe
the first part of Eastern.
Not even that, because if you're swordless, which you often are, you have to like get bonked around by the popos or whatever they're called, little squigglies. and sometimes you can lose your way and then get bodied by the anti-fairies that are progressing through the room.
Yeah. Old Man Cave might be a little easier. I don't know, but it's not hard.
Old Man Cave again. Also, if you don't have a sword, is pretty difficult, and you don't need a sword at all for the Turtle Rock thing. I guess you do technically, because you can't get into Turtle Rock without a sword unless it's swordless mode.
I don't see why you couldn't get into Turtle Rock without a sword.
Medallion.
Oh yeah, medallion. You're right. I'm dumb.
That's fine. I always forget about it too. And I think Cransoon forgot about it in the last race when he tried to go into Mire. But
Oh boy.
that's our last crystal. You want to do the honors?
Well, it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 locations in Ganon's Tower, which could have the big key. Put your guesses in, and you could be a big winner.
So, notably, Wulfy, instead of checking, unless he did check Sashra, is actually going to grab that ice rod and finally be in go mode. Unfortunately, it's probably a little too late, as Cransoon is entering Ganon's Tower before he's even in go mode.
Yeah, if you are a wulfy83 fan, what you're hoping for right now is you're hoping for big key in tile room, and you're hoping for about 6 falls to Ganon from Cransoon.
Yeah, it's pretty much Cransoon's game to lose.
And we've got no small key on the right-hand side, so we will be seeing a fairly traditional route in Ganon's Tower, and nothing of consequence on the torch, so Bob, our friend Bob, will be alive today.
It's good that you didn't get killed.
Yeah, I'm alive. I'm still here.
Wulfy is not happy at all about that end game of the seed.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so that's the first 7 locations checked.
Yep, my number is 8. So that's going to be this double firebar room. And yours is always the Bob chest, correct?
It is. I picked a different number this time, expecting the right side play, and it didn't happen. So,
So you didn't check 14 or whatever it is?
no, I didn't pick 14 this time.
And rip me, unfortunately. And anybody else who checked 8.
Alright, so there's the 9th chest. Just a small key as Cransoon heads over to the Randomizer room.
Yep.
Why do we call it the Randomizer room?
Because you never come here unless you're doing Randomizer, because it has like nothing in it.
That is it. Right there.
I think it's just like bombs and some small rupees. And maybe arrows.
Yep. Well, today it's got roughly the same.
But a little bit of love as well. Or a lot of love, I don't know.
Yep, that's true. So we've got an unusually high rupee count. Neither of these players ever went to Zora.
It's interesting. They did get flippers late in the game. It is 4 locations that you can check relatively early on, especially if you have the money for it, and the Moon Pearl for the fake flippers into the Waterfall Fairy Cave.
Yep, but clearly neither of those places were required. And Cransoon picks up the butter sword in Bob's chest. I will take that.
It's good.
So we've got 14 chests down. And Ice Armos shall be biting the dust shortly. There we go. We've got... Okay, so the entire left side is a complete bust. We go to the right side.
Yep, does Cransoon check tile room first for chest number 18, or are we going all the way to the right?
We will certainly find out. Canis Samaria blocks notoriously finicky when you try to get them on switches. That's the reason Misery Mire Darkroom is hard.
Oh yeah.
Because the Canis Samaria block is so dumb.
Yeah, the hitbox is bizarre on that thing. It seems like it exists, like, offset from what it looks like.
I think it exists in another dimension. Yeah, pretty much. That's where the butter goes. The freezer is above the fridge. So, 19. That was chest number 19, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like our winner was Drumboardist. So congratulations to you. And so now we will see Cransoon making his way up Ganon's Tower.
Yep, you and I are still tied at 4.
Oh boy. I forgot it was you who I was tied with.
So unfortunately, pretty much no gamble Wolfie can make in Turtle Rock, or not in Turtle Rock, in Ganon's Tower is going to give him any time. If he does the Dark Magician route, we catch up a little bit, but considering Cransoon's already upstairs, already has the Butter Sword, Silvers, Red Mail, Powder.
Yeah, it would take some sort of divine intervention at this point to stop Cransoon from winning this race. Not throwing out the possibility.
Yeah, or I don't know if Cransoon was on emulator or actual SNES hardware, but a hardware/software failure might be in the cards as well.
See, that's the sort of thing I would consider divine intervention.
Yeah, and an insurance company.
Or diabolic intervention. Is that also a thing?
Yeah, it depends on who you want to win. I don't have a horse in this race, so...
Yeah. I mean, other than, like, my prediction bracket, I don't have a horse in this race either.
Yeah, I picked Wolfie, but... Oh well.
I was one of the few people who did not pick Andy in the first round.
Dang, so you might be sitting pretty so far.
That's only because I thought Jim was going to win the whole silly thing.
It's possible. The way
he won the entrance shuffle tournament is the thing. So I'm just like, all right. So Wolfie going to finish off Trinex. He will at least get to Ganon's Tower before Cransoon has finished it.
Yeah, that's something I always want to see in my 1v1 races. Like, no dot done before Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, that's my general goal when I race one person, is to be in Ganon's Tower at the same time. It's like, I know I'm not going to win, but if I can get to Ganon's Tower while they're still in there, I feel accomplished.
Predictably enough, Cransoon is topping off his health with these free fairies.
Yep.
And 2 slices with the Butter Sword will bring down Moldorm 2.
Unnecessary spin, but you can use that to sort of stabilize yourself.
Yep, and I believe this is where chat wants to talk about Dairy Queen. Is that it?
Yeah, either that or Dragon Quest. I'm not sure which one they're referring to, but I like both of those things. And there we go. So there's, I think it's a couple of doubles here.
Is that a triple double?
Ooh, eat your heart out, Michael Jordan. What's up?
I wasn't paying attention. Did Wolfie check right side first?
He couldn't.
No, I mean like even the first two chests, because that would indicate whether or not we'd be seeing a dark
Oh,
magician.
right. I didn't see. Dairy Quest. I like it.
Looks like we'll be seeing a full left side on Wolfie.
Yeah, if you see them bothering to kill the Stolfos, then you know he's going to keep going.
We're also listening to some interesting Ganon fight music.
This is very true. Yeah, Cransoon has a very... I think it's a very nice selection of music. It's not really my genre, but it's very appropriate for what he does.
So yeah, Cransoon is about to enter the final phase of Ganon. Just 4 quick hits with the silver arrows will do it.
Yep, fires the fire rod the wrong direction, but manages to line up Ganon. Ooh, slightly missing the triple. But this should be game right here. And Cransoon fires the 4th arrow and takes down Wolfie in this 3rd match.
Yep, good game to Cransoon. I mean, good game to both of these runners. Wolfie, despite trailing pretty far behind in games 2 and 3, has put up a pretty good fight. It just turned out to be, that one item that was in a not like bad location, but a location that you didn't really want to check if you had better options available to you.
And it looks like we have an official SRL time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 33 seconds from Cransoon. GG to him.
Now, let's see if Cransoon wants to come in for a quick interview.
We will see, indeed.
And Wolfie is about to get his big key. Whether or not he does Towel Room is still unknown.
Alright, so Wolfie will be making his way through the right-hand side of Ganon's Tower on his tournament swan song here. We'll see what he can do with what he has on hand.
I mean, he has all the same safeties that Cransoon had. It's going to be pretty much a breeze going up this tower. 16 hearts, red mail, butter sword, silvers, the works, even half magic. I mean, that was the first item. I don't see him having any trouble whatsoever with Ganon's Tower.
Alright, so it does look like if we're going to get Cransoon in, it's going to have to be very quick. Because just as soon as Wolfie's done here, we have something coming up here on the channel.
Yep, I believe it's the daily race.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I should get on that.
Yeah. Anyone in chat, actually, regardless of your skill level or experience level, you can just join that and, you know, have some fun, do a seed, see what kind of time you can get.
Yeah, I believe this is a standard mode seed, so for those of you who were confused earlier, this was one where you will start with your sword or from Zelda's house and go through the escape sequence as normal, and so on.
I don't think this is standard. Looking at the schedule. Let me check. Oh, it is standard. It's a standard weekly race. Okay.
Yeah.
So they don't... I guess on Saturdays they're just going to do the standard weekly instead of the terrible mode they had on there before.
Oh no, don't worry, they moved it to Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday will have the open Randomizer surprise and also entrance key sanity, which I just want to see that so bad.
You know, I might join that. So we do have Cransoon in the waiting room. Well,
Yeah, let's do that.
bring him in.
Hello, Cransoon GG.
Hello, thank you very much.
All right, that
Oh,
was
my
really
goodness.
well done on your part.
Thank you very much. That was nerve-wracking to say the least. I was, because you know the human mentality. My opponent made none of my mistakes and all of my correct decisions. So
Right.
in my head, I was just like, oh well, obviously Wolfie didn't double dip pod, and then he did everything the exact same after me. Except he just said screw it and didn't even check flippers and just did Fat Fairy or whatever, like whatever the optimal path was. That was like in my head what I thought it would be.
Right. Well, you were kind of close on that. He did not double dip pod, but he, instead of going to Fat Fairy, went into Swamp, and that was his downfall.
Dude, I thought about it, and my plan was I'm checking Fat Fairy and then Swamp. That was my order of operations. If Fat Fairy hadn't had Ice Rod, I was going to do Swamp. Well, actually, I don't know. I can't, in retrospect, I don't know. I might have made the play on TR, hoping for Ice Rod in there instead of Swamp. But
Right.
I don't know. I can't really say. Hindsight is whatever, but it worked out. Man, that mirror had me terrified. I saw a
Alright.
mirror and I was just like, oh, please no, not Swamp, not Swamp. And then I found flippers instantly and was like, okay, Ice Palace. And then Fat Fairy had what I needed. It was, everything just kind of fell in place, but...
It's a bit interesting. This is a seed that would have actually benefited from fake flippering into Ice Palace without the go mode.
Here's the thing, actually. That, when I went into Mire, that was my plan. I went into Mire saying, here's what I'm doing. Because Swamp is a pendant, I don't need flippers. So my plan was go into Mire, clear that, beat it, fake flipper into Ice Palace, clear that, beat that, maybe check Fat Fairy, and then go up to Turtle Rock if I haven't found Ice Rod already. That was just my plan. And it just so happened that I got Mirror, which scared me because it pointed me towards Swamp.
Oh yeah,
And
we
but
had
then
the
I was
same
like,
thought.
yeah. But then I thought, okay, well maybe it's possible I will, still be able to just do everything. Like finding flippers, if flippers had been anywhere other than where they were, I don't know if I would have ended up taking the correct path. Because that would have just thrown me super far off. I don't know what I would have done, to be honest.
Yeah, this seed kind of was pretty trolly in the end.
Yes, definitely. There were a lot of places where it could have gone wrong. I always say that any seed that has bow and pod is just a bad seed. I hate
Yeah,
bow and pod so much.
Pretty
and
bad.
Bow and Mitts in pendant pod is about as bad as it gets. It was just, I was lucky that I had as few things open to me as I did. So I only had like, well, there's pod, there's catfish, there's like Smiths, and there's purple chest, and that's kind of it. So I was like, well, pod has to have something then. But
And there we go. Wolfie finishes it off in short order. So, Cransoon, I hate to cut you off, but we have something else coming up on this channel
yeah, that's no
right
problem.
now. So we're going to have to cut this short. Thank you once again to wulfy83, Cransoon, to our tracker, Raspberry Flu doing the tracking. Thank you for that.
Yep.
And also to my co-commentators and our restream, Feasel. Thank you so very much. And I think Kegamon was running the restream, actually. Thank you to all of those. If you want to support these runners, the best way to do that is to give them a follow. And I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And I have been Ruble.
And thank you so much for watching. See you later.
Later. Have fun with the weekly.